Parody begins with an extended drum fill, over which Yves Tumor sings the track's enigmatic opening line in a light falsetto. The bass and guitar soon follow, with a beautifully voiced chord that's busy enough to sound lush and full, but spaced out enough that it doesn't feel muddy. The rest of the verse lyrics sketch out a brief and unfavourable character study. Though ambiguous, it seems to describe someone with big aspirations but little time for others, unpleasant and ultimately unknowable, their true self costumed and hidden behind makeup. The next lines compound that ill feeling, depicting excitement at the thought of people losing their way. That idea is conveyed in the music too. While it's possible to divide the song's structure into discrete sections, the exact point at which one transitions to the next is sometimes difficult to determine. Rather than being signposted clearly, they shift and overlap. Take the end of what we'll call the first chorus, at the line, "Run it back in slow motion." Most modern music is built from 4 or 8 bar phrases, but here we return to the verse a chord earlier than we'd expect. The track doesn't settle into anything approximating a repeated progression until over a minute in, when we revisit the line "Imagine the thrill." Even then, the choice of chords here is different from before, and the melody is also reworked slightly. Before, it was a single note. Now, it alternates between 2. The result is that the tune, just like the harmonic movement and the overall structure, is hard to pin down. But as well as suiting the song thematically, this gives it a freeing sense of flexibility, allowing it to ebb and flow as Yves Tumor wishes. Around 1:37, the track kicks things up a gear, moving from ethereal, reverb-laden vocal harmonies to a much noisier texture. The bass marks out almost every beat, the guitar squawks, and the drums become more active. The vocals cycle through 3 lines. Initially, each of these lasts only a couple of chords, but then this gap doubles, allowing the instruments more space to breathe and giving a greater sense of importance to this climactic point of the song. We know the line about struggling to find our way is subtly reflected in the music, but the command "run it back in slow motion" is interpreted far more literally. At around 2:22, we get an outro that halves the tempo, as if time is slowing down before us. The instrumental parts become weightier, while the vocal part is heavily processed and pitch shifted. Here, Yves Tumor is inviting us to revisit the song's core ideas, while also taking a chance to insult its subject. Remember the title. The passage is mocking the self-styled pop star's inflated ego, a derogatory impersonation in musical form. The track ends with its most frequently asked question: what makes them feel so important? Parody makes it clear that the answer is an unflattering one. For more analysis, you can browse the playlist, subscribe, and support Apocopop on Patreon. See you next time.